Hey, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about landscaping a freshwater community fish tank. So I recently combined two 30-gallon tanks. My boyfriend had a 30-gallon tank and I had a 30-gallon tank of community freshwater fish, and we decided to combine the two so we'd only have one 30-gallon tank. So I'm going to show you what we did and how we did that, and also this was a good opportunity to do some new landscaping in the tank. So I'm going to give you some tips and what I keep in mind when I'm landscaping my tank. So when I'm picking plants for the tank, I usually only pick 4 different kinds of plants, and so there's not too much variety, but there's still a lot of variety. So when you think about that, try and choose plants that grow at different heights, plants that have different leaf sizes, plants that are different colors. I don't use CO2 in my tank, so I just use some fertilizer, and I have a good light that helps with plant growth, but I don't do anything special for my plants, so I can't pick anything that requires special things. So I just pick kind of the basic, easy growing plants. And I'm going to show you how it's possible to have a planted tank without getting all fancy and buying all special equipment. So when deciding where to put the plants in the tank, I think of the rule of thirds. So what that means is that you have your tank, which is a rectangle, and you break it up into 3 parts. So there'll be a part 1, a middle, and a part 3. So that's the rule of thirds, and you want to place your showpieces, so that could either be a rock or driftwood or a ceramic statue or whatever, in the rule of thirds. So you'd place it on the line that breaks up the 3 parts, if that makes any sense. I'll maybe show a little clip here or diagram something to help it make a little bit more sense. And also I like to think of either a convex or concave shape. So that means that if I was going to pick convex, I think that means that the plants on both sides would be lower and then the middle would be higher. And if I would pick concave, then the plants on either side of the tank would be high and then the middle would be low. So that doesn't need to be just for plants, that could be your driftwood or your whatever structures you're putting in. So just kind of think that it's always pleasing to the eye to have up, down, and up, or what was the other way? Down, up, and down. So it's kind of just a flow for the eye. So yeah, those are 2 things that I try and think about: the rule of thirds and kind of a flow, so it's not all just straight. And another thing that I like to think of is foreground, middle ground, and background. So that means that the foreground is the part closest to you, middle ground's in the middle, and background is the back of the tank. So for the foreground, I plant low growing plants that don't grow tall, and middle ground is where I would put my rocks or my driftwood or whatever structures that I'm going to use. Of course, you can also put plants in the middle ground, and then in the background I would put those plants that are going to grow very tall. So you're kind of creating layers, so you have layers going this way and you have layers going this way as well. When I'm actually planting the plants, I work from the backwards and go forwards. So I would do the tall plants first, and then the middle, and then the foreground. Also, another thing that I like to think about is if you use plants that have large leaves, then your tank is going to look smaller. And if you use plants that have small leaves, then your tank is going to look bigger. So you can either pick just one type, or like I said in the beginning, I like to pick a variety of small and big leaves, different colors, different shades, but I keep the variety to only 4. So I find that if you have too much variety, it just kind of looks like things are just been thrown in there anywhere and there's no kind of thought behind it. But when you only have 4 different types of plants, it looks like it's a whole piece and it's supposed to be together, but it's not so perfect that it looks like it was planned. So 4 just seems to be a good number for that. And also, the last thing I try and keep in mind is not to clump my plants all together. So when you buy plants, they usually come tied together with a weight. I used to just put that right in the ground and that was it. And I thought, oh, it's weighted down, they're tied together, perfect. But I found that it looks better when you actually open it up and take out. So I find that they usually come in about 5 different stems clumped together. So take it apart and place each individual stem in the ground by itself. So you might need to tie a weight to each individual stem, but usually I find I have sand, so it stays down and pokes in pretty easy. I don't need a weight. Sometimes they float up, but I just keep poking it down. Eventually the roots will develop and you won't need a weight or to poke it down anymore. I think that's all that I like to keep in mind. I'm sure there are a lot of other things. If you know any more, if you have any other tips, please put them in the comments. I always like to learn more. Here is my current 30-gallon tank. This is the one that I will be emptying, and these fish will be going into another tank. So the plants are a little bit overgrown. The moss and everything definitely needs a trim. So I'm going to take this opportunity to totally re-landscape the tank. So first I will remove all of the plants and the driftwood. Once the tank is drained, I'm ready to take it out. In its place, I put the new tank that I will be using. I just scrub the glass a bit, get the algae off, and then I'm going to fill it up with water. This tank already has some plants and fish in it. Once the tank is full, I'm ready to put the fish from the other tank that were in the bucket into the new tank. Then I fill the tank up with water. I have to organize this cupboard still and put the plants in and fix the gravel. This is the tank before. So I made a quick sketch of the plants and how I want them to be arranged. I've purchased some new plants and I will be adding some sand. So the first step is to take out the current existing plants and rearrange them a bit. Taking out the plants created a lot of dust and sand in the tank. It only took about half a day to settle back down. I moved over some of the black pebbles because I'm going to have it partially white sand and partially black pebbles. the new plants. So this is what it looks like right now. I already have a plant that I need to put back down. That one keeps coming back up. But yeah, it will look a lot better when the plants in the back grow. They'll be tall, and these guys in the front will stay small. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and as I said before, please leave in the comments any other tips or anything that you think I could improve on, or any other suggestions that you may have. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Bye.